Why do they put
a
so
gold
much?
star?
Because I think AP is significant. Yes, it is. It teaches those kids stuff that they really, you don't get in your regular classes.
That's true.
So, I mean, that's like, for example, St. Benedict's Academy in Newark, they don't have AP classes. When my son was trying to go to that school with no AP classes, he said, nah, I'm going to send him to school with no AP classes. Makes no sense. That's why St. Benedict's is not ranked. That's a sports factory anyway.
Really?
Yeah. Soccer, basketball. You don't want to go to that type of a factory.
Well, I mean, do they put out great athletes and do those athletes become successful?
Well, they get scholarship.
Okay.
So, and here's the other story. South Orange Maplewood administration to recommend discontinuing the middle school's IB.
Really?
Yep.
Where is this story at? Village Green?
Yep. Administrative leadership of the South Orange Maplewood
How do you
School.
now come? Wait, hold up. Let me get the article. I don't believe that.
You're an IB proponent, right?
Yes, I am.
See, you just.
I'm just on the correct path.
No, you're not on the correct path.
I just can't follow the crowd.
But let me ask you a question. If 99% of the crowd is going in that direction,
then the 99% can be wrong.
Not
99% of the people could be wrong.
you're absolutely right. They could be wrong. They could be. I can't dispute that.
I mean, look at all the oppression in society. Did anybody do anything about? Look at the people who followed Hitler. 99% of the people could be wrong.
I don't understand that analogy, though.
What do you mean you don't understand the analogy?
Hitler analogy.
The German people voted Hitler in, right? He won.
Because they thought he was the right person.
That's right. And that majority of people...
They didn't know what he was going to do.
That majority was wrong. And so one person said, nah, I don't think so. He doesn't seem the right person. Oh, you're not going to go along
but they
because
didn't know he was
everybody
going to do that. When you vote somebody in office, you don't... Okay, let me ask you a question. When you voted Obama in office, did you think he was going to do more for black people in this country?
No, I didn't expect anything.
Well, I did. I expected him to do more.
You were with that 99%.
I expected him to do more for black people in this country.
He's representing colored people, that's it.
No, he's not.
Well, okay. He's representing in the sense that we know.
He believes he's representing all the people of the United States of America.
Yeah, but he's just, we have a black president. That's the representation. That's it. I'm not saying that he's doing the best job or anything.
But let me ask you a question. Did George Bush do more things for white people than he did for black people?
I think George Bush did more for the rich than he did for anyone.
Yeah, but did George Bush actually sit down and say, I'm going to do more things for the white people as opposed to doing it for the black people?
But I mean, I don't know if everything is about black and white. So let's say the social class.
What?
I don't think everything is about black and white all the time. There's an underlying
give me an example when it's not. You may have to take some time, but come back to it.
It's not going to have to take that long.
You could come back to it.
If 5% of the people own 80% of the wealth in the United States, that's got nothing to do with black and white.
But most of them are white.
Yes, most of them are.
So it has to do with black and white.
So are most of the white people.
Own most of the wealth.
Most of the people who don't own are also white, too.
But if 5% of the people owns all of the wealth and they're predominantly
most
white,
of the white, yes.
It has something to do with black and white.
No,
Because
it's
blacks don't own as much wealth as those 5. All right, put all the blacks' wealth together. Are they as much as those 5 white people or 5% of white people that own all that wealth?
No, because 5% of the people own.
Because what it is that...
So you think this is all about racism? The reason that...
No. It's not about racism. I don't know if it's about... I wouldn't go that far.
Because you have race and you have class. So, which, I will always take class
They get more opportunities than we do.
Yes, but if you're a black man with some money, then you have opportunity as well.
Really? The same opportunity as a white guy with the same amount of money?
You have more opportunity.
You got
if you are a black man in the top 5%, which you probably
and you got the same opportunity as a guy.
If you are a black man in the top 5%, you have more opportunity than 95% of the other people.
But do you have the same opportunities as another guy who is in that same bracket as you?
It depends. I mean,
it depends on what?
Look at Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby don't have the same opportunities. That's why they're trying. That's why they're doing it. That's why they say, hey, Bill Cosby, pull your pants up. That's why they're making fun of him on Saturday Night Live. That's it's opportunity. It's different.
You really, it's all about race. It's all about race, everything.
I wouldn't say it's all about race, but I would tell you that many times it's about that. It's about opportunity. And certain people don't get the same opportunities other people get.
That is true.
So it's
that is true.
So let me give you an example. And we used this before. A black guy walking down the street in a drug-infested urban district and a white guy walking down the same street in a drug-infested urban district, who will get stopped first?
And we know the black guy is going to get stopped.
And that doesn't mean to say that that guy is there for some nefarious reason as opposed to what the white guy is there for. But that is just the way society is structured. That as soon as you see this black guy in this neighborhood, you think he's there for something illegal.
And if it was a drug-infested neighborhood, I'd think it was somebody white there for something illegal. Wouldn't you?
No.
What is he doing over there?
I don't know. I'm not going to jump to that conclusion. I don't know. He could live in the neighborhood.
He could.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump to that conclusion because that's what other people do. Other people.
I would assume that if it was a white guy in a black neighborhood, he should be.
He could be Puerto Rican, and he looks white.
But no, he's black. He's white. He's white. As
he could be Puerto Rican.
Snow, but no, he doesn't have any Puerto Rican.
He could be a white guy with a black
Puerto Rican
parent.
swag or anything like that.
Yeah, but I can't come to that conclusion.
Anyway, Anselm, I just don't think it's all about race. It can't be all about race.
At the end of the day, you don't want it to be like that, and that's not the way it should be. But most of the time, it's like that.
I'm not saying that they're not obstacles put in our way, and that we're not on a level playing field. But I think the majority of the problem is class, and so they get the white people
Marjorie,
who don't have anything to beat us down, so they'll feel better.
When I look at somebody, I can't tell class. I can't look at a person and say class. You can't look at a person and say that person is middle class.
There are ways to do that.
You can do that? So you can look at a person and you can tell if that person is middle class or not.
By just looking at them or having conversation with them?
You said looking. I just said looking.
No, you can't tell.
No, you can't.
You can't tell.
The only way you can find out by having a discussion with that individual.
No, wait. Yeah, so you can't tell. You can tell.
I can't.
You can tell.
I can't judge a person. I can look at a person and say, boy, you poor, you're rich, you're middle class. I can't. I can judge you, or I can have a perception based on how you look, but I don't know. And then you could
out of that, judgment or first impression. What percentage of the time would you be right? Probably 99% of the time.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you don't watch people
because we are misjudged all the time. Oh, I got this.
But
one
that's
with
you and I. I mean, I can tell.
I got this story for you as you're talking about that. Isaiah Washington. You remember that guy?
Oh, wait a minute. What about the IB program thing? Let me read that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get back to that. Let's do this. Isaiah Washington. A Silicon Valley hotel racially profiled me for being an uppity Negro with a cigar.
Well, what's that? That's just the headline of the story?
That's the headline, yeah.
So what happened to Isaiah?
He's black.
Okay, but what happened? Where's the story?
They profiled him.
Okay. What's the story? Can I hear the story?
Okay. I'm going to give you the story. Since you want to get the story.
I don't know the story.
I tend to digress somewhat.
I know. I mean,
Isaiah Washington told Huffington Post Live on Thursday that he was recently profiled.
Who's Isaiah Washington?
You remember Isaiah Washington, the guy that had the discussion? He's from that TV show. I forgot one of those big TV show on television. One of those big television.
He's an actor?
Huh?
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
Okay.
I don't look at it. Racially profiled in Silicon Valley on Saturday, April 18. Washington explained to the Huffington Post Live in Mark Lamont's Hill that he was at a very nice hotel just last Saturday smoking a cigar when a security guard approached him and asked his name. Washington said he had fallen asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, presumably in a public area of the hotel. though he did not elaborate, but he felt he was targeted solely because of his race. Security just wanted my black behind out of the hotel for being an uppity Negro with a cigar, Washington said. He didn't like the way I looked. After much discussion, conflict was eventually sorted out and Washington was allowed to stay. Washington appeared in the Huffington Post Live along with Monique and Julian Walker to discuss Blackbird, their film about a young African-American man coming to terms with his sexuality in the Deep South. And then, of course, they have the video there about him. You know, so he was. I get it up. It was something about him before that some type of thing with him before.
Racially profiled.
So
let's. Oh, that's me? I thought that was you. So he's the one who's saying that it was an uppity. They looked at him as an uppity Negro.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything directly to him, though.
Well,
That's his interpretation.
he felt he was racially profiled.
He said he was an uppity
Yeah.
Negro. He said that. They saw me as an uppity Negro.
So you think when these people say that they're just making it up?
No, but I mean, if I give me something, to say what somebody feels or you believe they feel about you is just really not enough. Did someone take an action and say something to you? I'm just trying to be,
I worry about you sometimes.
Be level about all of it.
I worry about you sometimes.
Don't worry.
You can't tell when you're being racially profiled? You can't tell? No.
I'm like, my eyes, I'm like trying to see in my head. It's not that I'm like totally dumbfounded. I'm trying to think. I mean, there are things that have happened to me. And, this is why we need to go to this coalition thing and have a discussion, participate in that discussion.
It's useless.
Because sometimes, how do you know? It's always a question. How do you know if that person is profiling you or that person is just a jerk?
No, a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a jerk that's profiling.
Sometimes I know you wonder, like, are you being a jerk or
no, they're not.
You racist?
No, they're not. They're profiling.
You can be with somebody that's white, a good friend of yours, perhaps, and they say something. How do you know that they're not just being a jerk at that moment,
Marjorie,
or is it a racial issue?
What's on your mind comes out your mouth. It's that simple. What on your mind comes out your mouth, and the easiest thing to do is when it comes out to apologize. Oh, I didn't mean that.
So every time someone white does something wacko or off the hook
what do
or
you call
inappropriate, then we assumed it's because they have a racial issue or because that person is just
what do you call wacko?
The way they are.
What do you call wacko?
I mean, I would have to think of incidents. I mean, there are times when I had more than enough incidences like this in my life. I mean, they could be just microaggressions. They could be outright racism. That's the new word, microaggression, man. The new buzzword.
What the hell does that mean?
We'll look that up. But are we on, which person are we on? Are we on this guy? I mean, you just want to go all over the place.
You see?
And I just can't do it. Like
we
have
a social conformist.
Oh,
microaggression. I don't care what does microaggression mean?
Just like, okay.
Can you explain that to me?
Hold up.
Okay.
And we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting to watch you grow because you just turn into another person occasionally. And I remember when I told you about this story when I was at one of my best friend's house, and it was, Donna Smith was speaking when she was running for the board. Mm-hmm. And, I was like on a roll that day, and I ended up answering most questions. I almost hijacked that meeting. And the woman walked up to me and says, you're very articulate. Remember when I told you that story?
Absolutely.
And I says, well, so are you. You're very articulate. And she says, well, I didn't say anything. And so when I posted that, like I told you on my Facebook page, people wrote, that's a microaggression. Because they say that people generally don't walk up to other white people and say that you're articulate. And so then I said that black people don't like being called articulate because it's kind of racist because the assumption is that I'm not supposed to be that way. Or why am I articulate? I mean, do you say that to everybody else? And then you said, oh, no. But, that's not that's a microaggression. You're coming at somebody. You may not even be aware that you're doing it, but it's an underlying racist thing. And you said, oh, no, that's not racist. And I felt offended by that. And you didn't see what was offensive by it. So in cases like that, there's a case where you're wondering, is there something wrong with this woman? Is she really